Welcome, everybody. We are back on the F1 edition of Sports with Sadaji and Friends podcast. I'm Pratyush, here's Aniket. And, well, you might be wondering, what are these guys doing here? I mean, we have a 3 week mid season. F1 has stupid scheduling this week. We have two triple headers and we have 3 weeks of break in between. We did have 3 weeks of break before Austin tour, right? Yeah, just a
Some
crazy,
crazy scheduling.
crazy scheduling going on. But yeah, we just wanted to, check in with you guys, keep you guys, abreast of all the news that's going on. And it's a lot happened in the last, week and a half. Lot of news stories that came out. And yeah, we thought we'll give you like a quick, hit list of the top, four stories, right, Aniket? The top four that are kind of, two of them have really sent shockwaves through the F1 community. And yeah, we're going to start with the team that kind of had a very surprise weekend at Brazil, right? Double podium, right? They barely got any points the whole season, double podium. And, everyone thought that, hey, maybe Alpine can start doing better. Maybe something, things are looking up and maybe El Plan is finally back. But what do we see? We see this. What is going on, Aniket? What the hell? What in the bloody hell is going on?
Yeah. So, firstly, everyone, welcome to the show. A lot of stuff to discuss today. We'll try to keep it concise, but we've had so much going on in the world of F1 that even a 3 week break does not mean we don't talk about F1. So we had to come on and do a special episode and
Yep.
get to deep diving all the different kinds of news we have. And starting off, as Prithvi said, with this entire Alpine Mercedes thing. So yeah, I would say it's been in the works for the last few months. Alpine wants to go in a different direction. I think since Fabio Briatore has come back into the fold at Alpine, there does seem to be a change in mindset wherein Alpine do not want to be a factory works team anymore, and they're okay to go in the direction of a customer, a partner of another, or I would say having a customer engine of another team. So it does seem like this Alpine Mercedes conversation has been going on for a while, and ultimately now that is confirmed for 2026, there could be other repercussions for this or for on this as well, like Alpine being sold to some other organization, or a lot of other organizational changes taking place inside Alpine as well. So they will no longer be using the facilities at Enstone in terms of engine as well as gearboxes in the near future, because this Mercedes Benz power unit deal has been signed from 2026 onwards when the new regulations kick in up to 2030. So it's a 5 year period, and it does not seem that Alpine will go back to being a works team unless something changes again drastically. So there's a lot of questions more than answers, I would say, at this point, as to like will Alpine be sold to say an Andretti or some kind of team like that in the future? What will happen to the organization now that the engine and the power unit and the gearboxes and these are the two main components, right? Basically, are being manufactured by another rival competitor and being sold to them. So now they're being a customer unit, a customer team. How much of impetus will it be from the Alpine honcho in terms of their uh, prioritizing their involvement in Formula One? So a lot of questions like this are there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary, Aniket. And I mean, it's also gut punch to the entire, the engine team at Renault, right? Like, I mean, it's already end of 2024, right? There's just 1 year left. We basically have an exact one season left before the new regulations kick in, right? I mean, sometime this time next year, 2025 season will be ending, and then the winter testing and all that starts off, right? So teams will be with the 2026 car, maybe in 12, 13 months from now. So obviously, Alpine would have been, very much in the thick of things, developing that engine, right? And I mean, as we all know, the corporate world, the people on the ground don't get told to the last minute. I mean, they probably found out 30 minutes
Yeah,
before the release,
yeah,
right? So yeah, I mean I really feel for all the the injured team and all of them. I mean sure Alpine maybe did not have the best of few years, but I mean I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
if they work in a fun team, they're all very smart people, developing some of the best engines the world has seen, right? And now Alpine just pulled the rug from under them and said, "Oh yeah, you guys all suck. We're going to go to Mercedes, right?" Um, but I mean, an F1 car is much more than the engine, right? I mean, there are other teams on the grid that use Mercedes engines, right? I mean, not they're all not doing well. I mean, even McLaren only last year started doing well, right? They were crap before that. Williams is, up and down, right? Williams is below Alpine now in the standings. Um, and Aston Martin is the other team that uses Mercedes engines. So I don't think just the engine is going to help them, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's some cost cutting, right? I mean,
yeah,
Alpine did
I
spend
agree.
a lot of money. Alpine did spend a lot of money the last few years, right? Trying to be competitive. Maybe I guess the headquarters Renault don't want them to burning that much money. Or maybe, like you said, are we going to see a sale, right? Are we going to see Alpine being sold, maybe to Andretti, maybe to somebody else? Yeah,
Yeah, I think this sets up the entire sale talks again, right?
right,
There's no reason for Renault to be involved in F1 anymore, or there's no reason for the manufacturer to be involved in F1 anymore as a customer. So,
right,
what is the motivation to stay in F1? Because you're not like going to be powering your team with your own engines, with your own gearboxes. Half the machinery is coming from some other manufacturer, so
right.
there's no real impetus to be there. So I would think they'll be focusing on other motorsports as well. And once their place is cemented in something else, then they might probably exit F1. But let's see,
Yeah.
they've committed for till 2030. So we're going to see this iteration of the organization with Mercedes engines from 2026 onwards. And
Hmm.
we still don't know how good these Mercedes engines will be. Clearly, they are not the same engines as it was in the previous regulation set before 2022.
Right.
So we'll see
Hmm.
if Mercedes does make a comeback, then that would mean Alpine have hit a jackpot in securing the grid's best engines. But yeah, this was a shock deal. Like I mean, like I personally was outside working out in the gym, and this hit my phone. And I'm like, I need to get it out to the channel so people can see it and react on it
Yep.
instantly. So it was that kind of a shock. I wouldn't say it was not in the works, because we've been hearing a lot. We spoke about it on one of our previous videos as well, in one of our rumors section. But now that it's finally happened, it's kind of hit reality that there's another team which is not going to be a work stream from 2026 onwards. So yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, the history of Renault is such a funny one in the sport, right? They just used to be a constructor, right? They were what, Benetton Renault or something in the 90s, right? Yeah, I mean, they exited F1, they came back, then,
the
2002, they
whole
came back
Lotus thing
again.
later on.
Yeah, 2002 they came back as a proper works
Yeah,
team, like the whole thing, Renault F1. Alonso won a couple of titles. Alonso left the team declined. They left the
and
sport again, came back with
don't forget,
Lotus.
they've been involved in a lot of controversies as well with respect to Crashgate and I don't know. I mean,
Ah, Crash Kit, man.
Using a team as a leverage, basically. Whenever he wants, he can just come back. So Crashgate
Yeah,
also,
yeah, yeah.
basically hurt their reputation a lot, quite a lot. And
Yep, yep.
then they exited and came back as Lotus, I believe, in 2010 or 2011. I'm not sure when.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, they're also, yeah, I mean, if we're just looking at the table, right, they used to be Lotus Renault back in the 80s, right? Then they were Tyrrell. I mean, they supplied engines for Williams for a bit.
Well, I mean,
Um,
they were engine suppliers for one of the best teams in F1 ever, in Williams.
yeah, yeah,
At that
Red
time.
Bull, right?
No. Williams at
Vettel.
that time in 90s.
No, yeah, but I mean, also when during Vettel's dominant era, Vettel
Yeah,
won 4 titles with their engines, right?
correct.
Yeah, so it just, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like if you look, with Williams, those 8 years with Williams, Renault won 64 races as an engine supplier, right?
What, four
And then
titles I
with
think?
Red Bull, I don't know. I think
Mansell, Prost,
yeah,
Damon Hill, and Jacques Villeneuve. Four titles.
right. Yep.
Hmm.
And then again with Red Bull, they won another 4 titles. They won 50 races. Um, and also, I think with Benetton, Michael Schumacher set second title. The first title was Benetton Ford. I think the second one was Benetton Renault. So yeah, I mean they're a very storied team, right? A storied team with a great history, and it just yeah, I mean, I think we see one of two things by 2030. Either, you know, Renault is like, whatever, we're done, screw this. And they exit the sport once again. And they come back in like 2036 with the ghost of Fernando Alonso. Or you never know, man. Renault is such a bipolar team. Like, even saw, was it one of the last year or 2 years ago with that whole, whole saga under Otmar, right? They hired
Yeah,
Otmar with a big coup from
Alpine.
Aston Martin,
Yeah,
right? And then a year later, they fire him. Bruno Fama comes in, and now Fama goes back to the factory, and now some new guy comes in. And it's like, yeah, it's just like they're so bipolar, man. They really can't decide what they want to do. Like,
and
yeah, I think it's always
the
been,
car was awful to start off the season with. They were like nowhere. I mean,
yeah,
they've done
that heavy
very
car,
well.
the car was too
Yeah,
heavy.
exactly. And now
But I
it's
think they
ultimately
record well, right? Like, especially
they
in the
did
rain, they
well.
did very well in Brazil. So, and they've
If
been
every
getting points
if it rains in
regularly.
every race, Alpine might just win the World Constructors Championship.
Yeah, but I mean, even before Brazil, they were kind of improved a bit, right? You see Gasly, especially coming into Q3 quite often,
Hmm.
every now and then, right? Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. Alpine, yeah, Alpine has always been a bipolar team, right? They just can't seem to decide and kind of commit to a strategy and do it. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see. I guess next year will be the last you know year as as an engine supplier for Renault. The funniest thing is 2026. Uh, Renault won't make their own engines, but freaking Red Bull will have their own engines, right?
Yes.
I mean, sure, Ford is coming, but we don't know how much Ford will develop, right? I
Yeah.
mean, Red Bull has put in a lot of money into developing their own powertrains, right? So, an
And there's
energy
going to be
drink company.
some Honda stuff also still lingering in Red Bull as well. So, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
I mean,
Honda has started to kind of like maintenance updates till end of this regulation era.
yes, yes,
But
exactly.
Red Bull has sunk in a lot of money developing RBPT in the factory and all of that. I mean, yes,
Hmm.
Ford is coming for 2026, but I mean, I would still say at least for the first couple of years, it's mostly going to be a Red Bull powertrain. Right? Ford will take
Yeah.
time to ramp up and get their expertise in. So yeah, I mean, it's just funny that I don't know how old is it now? 50 years, 100 years, how old they are, right? Like, let's see, how old is Renault, right? I'm
Yes,
very curious. Like,
about 50 years, I guess.
I
50,
mean,
60
F1
years.
team. So, okay, Renault was established in 1898, right? So this is like a
Oh, that's fine.
125-year company. A 125-year-old company is going to use engines from somebody else, while a freaking energy drink company is going to be developing their own engines for the pinnacle of motorsport. This is absolutely hilarious to me. Yeah, that's why I tweeted on. That's why I tweeted the other day. Alpine is not a serious team. Like,
Exactly.
uh, anyways, yeah, I guess that's all
But
we can
Mercedes
dunk on Alpine.
gains a customer, and they lost Aston Martin, but now they gain Alpine. So yeah.
Yeah, they gain Alpine, which yeah, I mean, yeah, Mercedes has been a very very good engine supplier from a while now, right? I mean, not just before the factory, I mean, before they were McLaren's engine supplier for
I
a
mean,
long time.
till 2008 they were only supplying McLaren, but since the exclusive partnership broke, and then they
Hmm.
started supplying Braun on the ship. Then they became their own
Yep.
team, but they were still
Yeah, yeah,
supplying
yeah.
other teams. So yeah, they have
Right,
a
right.
long history in sport now, supplying
Yeah,
teams.
yeah, it's the same. Mercedes has always been an excellent engine
Yeah,
in the sport, right? So yeah, I think yeah, we'll see. I don't think Renault should have problems with the engine. I mean, honestly, I don't think the Alpine engine also too bad, man. I think that it was more the problem. Like you see, beginning of the year, right? That heavy car, the aero was crap and all of that, right? I mean, and as they fix those things, they've gotten better at
Hmm.
you know,
Yep.
qualifying in Q3 and getting points and all of this. I don't think really the engine is to blame. But yeah, I mean, again, like we said, Alpine is just such a dysfunctional organization. Not Alpine, like I mean Renault, right? The factory, the automobile company. Yeah, they always been very dysfunctional F1. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Will will they even survive till 2030? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, viewers. Yeah, if you have an opinion, you can comment. You can comment down below. Tell
Yep.
us whether you think Alpine or Renault, whatever stupid name they get in the future, will survive to 2030 or not.
I wonder what name will they have in 2026. Will it still
Oh
be
my
Alpine
god.
or something else? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they'll probably stick with that because I think what is a sports car brand or something, right? So
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Anyways, let's move on. We move from my favorite topic to Aniket's favorite topic. Uh, Aniket, the stage is yours.
Yeah, so basically what happens is the F1 keeps firing FI directors for some reason, or FI stewards for some reason. And just like few days ago we saw, what's his Hans Wittich, or was it something else? What's his first name?
I think yeah. Let me look it up quickly.
What's it? I mean, yeah, Mr. Wittich. You can call him Mr. Wittich for now.
Ne-
Mr. Wittich,
yeah, Niels
Neil
Wittich. Niels
Wittich. Sorry,
Wittich.
yeah. So Neil
Yeah.
Wittich, who's
Race
been
director.
he's been the race director since Massey was out, I believe, or I'm not sure when he
Yeah,
came in.
yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, so basically Niels Wittich has either resigned or
Oh no,
been
no.
let go.
Yeah, no, he joined since the start of 2023. So he
Okay,
split with another guy in 2022 after Massey. You
2022.
remember
Yeah,
two
yeah.
people were kind of
So
splitting it,
basically,
right? So,
yeah, but still he was there
but
from 2022
he has been
onwards.
since
Yeah.
he has been since 2022. Yep.
Yeah. So what's happened now is just 3 days before the end of the season, we see that he's either been let go or we are not sure if he resigned voluntarily. So one of them, there's still no clear opinion on what he's done or news on what has happened.
Yeah.
But it does seem that he's going to be replaced by somebody else for just the last 3 races. So it's a pretty big shocker because you don't see such kind of things in F1, wherein FI stewards or directors are let go like races before the end of the season. So
Yeah.
there are quite a few reasons for this. Obviously, we saw. See, I mean, the FI, I mean, the race directors are generally not involved in making the decision. The stewards are involved, but it does seem that in this season we've had a lot of issues with different kinds of penalties, ranging from in track incidents and you know what do you say, overshooting corners and so on and so forth. And then recently in Brazil we had the whole red flag situation, both in qualifying and the race. So a lot of controversies, a lot of controversial decisions, and it does seem that some of it, the race director has landed upon the race director's head, and that has indeed led to the situation. So a bit of a shocker because we don't see such things. So now the FIA is tasked with bringing race directors for just the last 3 races of the season, which is a bigger headache than uh, anointing somebody to start the season with, because you have someone who's going to just take up the ropes in the last 3 races, and then dish out decisions. That's going to be a little chaotic for whoever comes in. So there's always been history with stewards right from 2021, as we know, stewards and race directors, and that has not been solved like 3 years later as well. We've not seen a consistent race director for a long time, I would say now. So, yeah, a bit of a shocker, a bit of out of the blue because there was nothing coming out in terms of race directors in any kind of news segments on X or something. So I think that's what it is right now.
Yeah. I mean, I really wonder, man. Like, there's just 3 races left, right? Basically, a triple header, so it's just 3 weekends, right? What did British do that he just fired? Like, couldn't the FIA wait till like another
Exactly,
three
right.
weeks or like 4 weeks, right? Like, what's the hurry? Like, I mean, you have been inconsistent for 75 years. What's another 3 races?
And basically the championships are decided as well, so I'm not sure what three
Yeah,
races is going to
exactly.
give
Like,
you. So
yeah, Max is on. Like, what are you trying to achieve now?
it's a crazy, just a crazy turn of events, right? You don't see this even I've not seen this in F1 for a long time. When race director let go 3 races before the end of season or
Yeah.
towards the end of season. So does does seek a lot of questions, this kind of situation, as in what's happened, who decided, who's taken the authority to let the FIA race director go, and are there any stewards also who are going to be let go after the season? A lot of questions right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Just incredible, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it really begs the question: what actually happened behind the scenes? Like, I wish somebody, I don't know, Chris Medland, the race, motorsport.com, Autosport, somebody give us a scoop, damn it.
I was listening to somebody on the race today, some German guy. He was
Yeah.
basically seemed to have a conversation with Vitic at the airport or something, and he was telling that Vitic did not leave by himself, nor he was sacked. So I'm not sure. I basically, those are the words the German guy used. So I'm not sure exactly what has happened and who has given him the boot, because it does seem like he has not taken the decision by himself, and
Hmm.
there's been some kind of middleman from the FIA who's done this. Because now,
Oh,
along
yeah,
with
I
this,
just see. Yeah, there is tweet. Yeah, yeah, continue, Aniket. I'll bring up the
yeah,
tweet
I'm
which you're
saying
talking about.
now, along with this, we just had some breaking news like 10 minutes back, just before we started the stream, that a compliance officer also has been let go or either resigning.
Right.
So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
all this is happening like just towards the end of the season, which is a little shocking, because generally we see driver market changes, right? Now we are seeing FIS stewarding changes and
Yeah.
director changes and so on. Yeah, I think this is the guy who came onto the
Yep.
show as
Yeah. FI is like, oh no, driver silly season over. Let's start our own silly season. We need the
well.
drama.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So he
just
didn't step down and he was fired. And you were just told today, like, what's happening, man? Like, this is so random.
and then for once, I believe this season has still been okay up till obviously the last race in Brazil. I think that, I mean, there have been a few incidents here and there, but I feel that
Yeah.
compared to the 2021 season, you're telling me this season is not better? I think no way. I think this season is so much better than what we had in 2021, and that's when Massey did it. I mean, Massey did not go till, like, he was found guilty of influencing the race with his own means and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then he go silently also. We never heard about him coming out and commenting on anything as well.
Yep.
Till now, we heard from Massey since he was let go.
I mean, Matthew's not never speaking out again, man. Probably
Exactly.
10 years down
So
the line.
So this is a little shocking because I think this season has still been okay by far as FI standards go, but we'll see who
Yeah.
they have now as the director of the last 3 races.
Oh, I was looking up Vittich. Oh, Aniket, you are going to hate this guy now. Apparently, Vittich was the guy who brought up driver's jewelry way back in 2022.
See, I think all this is also there, drivers' jewelry, the whole swearing thing, whether the race director had some influence with that. So a lot. I mean, we saw like the Grand Prix Drivers Association write a letter
Yeah, yeah,
to the FIA president, asking him to be polite in his language, and that they are not children anymore or something, and treat them like adults.
right.
So has the race director also been involved in all this swearing gate and this jewelry thing, as you brought up? So uh, I mean, along with the on track incidents fine. I think it's more of the off track drama that's causing all this.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like even the whole swearing thing, right? It's such a just a stupid
yeah,
argument that such a stupid hill that F1 wants to die on, right? Like,
exactly.
I was just seeing an old F1 video the other day where, this was back when I think I'm guessing so the video didn't say the year, but I'm guessing probably like 2017 or 2018 because Vettel was at Ferrari and there was Lewis, right? And apparently Lewis, swore on the radio or something. And this guy, journalist, post race, he stands up and asks Lewis, "Hey, Lewis, you're supposed to be role models for kids and fans alike, and why are you swearing?" And then, before Lewis could answer, Vettel takes over, and
Yeah,
uh, Seb is like, "Hey, do you think if you put a mic on a football player for 90 minutes, you'll hear any nice things? Like, it's a physical sport, it's a high adrenaline sport." and we have a mic shoved in our faces for 2 hours. So what is like, what do you expect, right? I mean, we are overtaking, we are, doing all kinds of crazy stuff on track, and obviously tempers will flare, right? It's not like Lewis hates that driver and not talk to him the rest of his life or something. It just sees to the moment, right? And yeah, I mean, the FIA doesn't seem to understand it, right? I mean, we have seen with I mean, yeah, I think Bin Sulaim in general has been a terrible director for the FIA, right? He keeps
The
finding the weirdest hills to die
ever
on.
president, you mean?
Yeah, the president, yeah, whatever his post is. But yeah, MBS, right? Not to confuse with the other MBS, but he's like both the MBS have the same kind of idiocy in them. But yeah, yeah, I think we'll see if we, get more info out of this, and obviously we'll bring it to you as we hear more.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely a very, very a weird decision. Three races before, right?
I know. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, Aniket. Uh, so just today, I think just a few hours ago, right? It was announced that Monaco GP has been extended to 2031. I have mixed feelings about this, Aniket. I mean, for one, Monaco GB is like a more traditional track, right? It's not like all these, Middle Eastern or other street circuits, which which have kind of become so common on the F1 calendar.
Yeah,
Monaco is probably, I don't know, one of the oldest or one of the oldest F1 tracks, right?
I
Is
think it's
I
been
think
there since the start of inception of the FI World
exactly,
Championship.
yeah. It's been there. I think only time it was not there was during the COVID pandemic. I think, right? There's no Monaco that year, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Chat, don't kill me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the only time when Monaco was missed. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, one of the most storied, F1 tracks. But on the other hand, we all know what we see in Monaco every year. Unless it rains, then we see some excitement, right? I mean, this year we saw a red flag right in the first lap, which kind of ruined everything because teams changed their tires, and then yeah, we didn't see any we didn't see any action for the rest of the race. But yeah, I mean, there needs to be done something on Monaco, right? I mean, like we talk about this every year about Monaco, right? We talk about this twice a year. We talk about once before Monaco, and then we talk about when Monaco extends its contract, right? But like we see this every year. Like F1 cars have become very big, right? It's not like the 50s when F1 cars is tiny things, right? F1 cars are massive, massive hunks of metal right now. And I mean, there has been good reason, right? I mean, there's a lot of safety work that's happened over the years, and F1 has kind of reduced a lot of these deaths and all these things. I mean, the last death we saw was close to a decade ago. It's close to a decade ago at this point. Even when was that? 2019 when Roman Grosjean was basically enveloped in fire, and he still came out. Right, that's just testament to the safety of the sport. I
2020, I
mean,
believe.
obviously there's yeah, but obviously that came with some trade-offs, right? Like we have bigger cars, we have heavier cars. I mean, yes, 2026 I think is going to see cars become a little lighter, but again, not by much, and not too much smaller. So yeah, that's the problem with Monaco, right? And Monaco being a street circuit, it's hard to widen the track, right? I mean, it's not an F1 track. It's literally a bloody road in a country, which is the whole
That's the
country is
only
the
road in
size
the
of the
country.
like the whole country is size of the Monaco circuit. Is literally nothing beyond the track, right? Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I don't know, man. Like, do we just kind of accept this one track that is shit, and try to push for other exciting tracks on the calendar? And it's
I
still a
think
very
you
challenging
hit the
track
nail
to
on the
drive
head.
on.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just a glamour track at this point. Uh,
Yeah,
I think someone on our chat group said earlier that it's about money talks and so on. So yes, money does talk. FI does need money from their
right,
most lucrative tracks. That's the reason a lot of other tracks get dropped because of finances and sponsorships and so on. But Monaco is a
right,
race
yeah,
which will never lose any sponsorship. Tends to generate the most revenue as well because of the number of superstars which come in. A lot of sponsorships events take place during around that time of that race. So I would think that Monaco is a track which will never go off the calendar despite of its lack of overtaking opportunities and how both the drivers themselves get just falling around like it's a traffic jam, like a parade or a procession. So yeah, I think as you said, we just have to accept it and move on. That's it. Nothing else. We cannot ride in the track. We cannot make any changes to the track that will improve any kind of overtaking. So the one race where we get one or two overtakes, we got to be happy with it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's also Monaco also has this kind of thing, right? You win Monaco, you win. I don't know. Not
Yeah,
Triple
it's
Crown.
like
Triple Crown is different, but Monaco has
triple
also
crown
has
is,
its own.
yeah.
No, not Triple Crown. Triple Crown
Not triple
is
crown.
the.
Monaco is basically one of those legendary tracks which you want to win, like
Yep,
Silverstone
yep.
or Belgium, Italy,
Yeah,
and
just trying to
so
find the name for that.
this kind of
The
tracks.
name escapes me. Yeah, the name escapes me. But yeah, it's considered to be. I
I don't
mean,
think
not
it
the
has a
Triple
name.
Crown.
I don't think it has a
Yeah, I
name,
mean it.
but
Yeah, I think it's sort of like the Triple Crown, but I mean, oh yeah, okay, yeah, the modern Triple Crown. Yeah, it is the modern Triple Crown. So Indy 500, one is Indy 500, then Le Mans 24 hours, and
yeah,
the third one is
but it's
Monaco
also
Grand Prix.
just F1. I would think people would love to win a Monaco Grand Prix more than say a China Grand Prix or a Belgium, not Belgium,
Yeah,
sorry, a
yeah, yeah,
Chinese Grand Prix or a Spanish Grand Prix or something. People crave
yeah,
a
totally,
winning
totally. I
Monaco.
mean, just the fact that it's considered part of the Triple Crown along with Le Mans and Indy 500 just shows how much importance drivers themselves give to it, right?
Yes.
Despite being a procession, I think, yeah, drivers, I mean, whether it's Alonso or Leclerc or Hamilton, they've always spoken about how you need the utmost concentration in Monaco, right? Like the streets are narrow.
Barriers
You
are
have all
closed.
these, yeah, you have all these crazy corners and especially Rascas, and
Yeah.
yeah, just a very, very high skill track. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, we do see sometimes interesting Monaco Grand Prix when it rains, but that's not every year. Yeah, maybe the FI can do this. Aniket, remember many
Before.
moons ago, Bernie Eccleston had an idea that we should just put sprinklers in the track, right? Maybe we should do that for Monaco, right?
Yeah.
Make it
Maybe.
interesting.
I mean, so I think with this contract extension, Monaco gets a special date as well. It's going to be held in the first weekend of June every calendar year. So
Oh,
that's
really? They said
also,
that?
yeah, that's also there in the
Oh,
news.
okay.
So I have to go and check whether it rains in Monaco in June or not. So if that does happen, then maybe there's a reason
Yeah,
race it in June.
yeah. Then maybe 26 or 27, we should plan a Monaco holiday, man. Like, not we
Yeah,
can't afford the tickets. Maybe we'll find some terrace to kind of snoop
I
on
know,
and see the race.
I agree.
No way we can afford tickets to the race, but yeah. But yeah, these are what the current contract lengths are. We have six tracks expiring next year. There's China, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, another Italy, and Mexico. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, there's another. Quickly before we move on to the next topic. There was a few days ago since you're talking about tracks, right? I forget who said it. Maybe you can remind me who said it. But they were saying that maybe they can start to kind of rotate European tracks because there's so many tracks, so many legendary tracks in Europe.
Yeah,
They were saying
I
that,
had brought it up on the show, and there were a lot of people who also thought it could be a good idea. But
yeah, yeah.
Pratyush, I
If
don't
you
think
ask
that.
me,
Yeah,
I think we should have more European circuits and maybe rotate the useless Middle Eastern ones. But that's just me. Uh,
yeah. The problem with this rotating is logistics, right? Why would a circuit just want to be there for a year and then not be there for the next 1 or 2 years? They're going to lose a
right.
lot of revenue by not being in F1. So that's a concern which circuits would
Yeah.
have. I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see a Nürburgring or Hockenheim, every other year,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
instead of say an Imola where there's less overtaking, or a Barcelona as well. So, but
But
I don't know, like
Remember Japan used to alternate the tracks. They used to alternate Fuji and
exactly.
Suzuka for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is
But that was still
possible, right?
Japan, right? So that's the same country. So
Yeah, yeah.
I can still understand them doing that. But with the whole European rotation, I mean, we are missing out on some beautiful tracks, and we might miss out on some more beautiful tracks if some of these contracts don't get extended. But
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
also
this
what about,
whole yeah, the whole
I think
rotation
rotation
thing
also
has
helps.
become very messy, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think also it will help to F1 to get more tracks, not just European tracks, but remember we used to have a Korean GP, right? We never seen
Yeah,
it again. We had an Indian GP, which I mean that had a contract issue,
I
but
think
at
that's
least I
more
mean
to
now
do
the
with
problem
the
is,
finances and contracts. If India or Korea both pump in money into F1, I'm sure they'll be considered again.
yeah, but again, like the problem is now even if the Indian GP wants to come back, right? The calendar is already so long, right? And there are like a lot more tracks that can come in if we start allowing rotation, right? Remember there was that Vietnam circuit which never supposed to come
Yeah,
during COVID and then
that's
just
exactly
died.
right.
Yeah, then
Malaysia,
recently we saw that. Oh, sorry, Sepang. Yeah,
Malaysia as
Sepang.
well.
Come on, man.
Japan,
We need Sepang. Yeah, Sepang is such a legendary track. And then also South Africa, I think recently
Kuala
re-
Lumpur.
uh, yeah, renewed their track to be what grade one compliant now.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think a lot of exciting circuits, which I think rotation, maybe not, maybe don't rotate the same tracks every year. Maybe do some rotation of rotations. I don't know, man. Come on, F1 can figure this out. They have a lot of money, a lot of
yeah.
talent
I mean,
running the
uh,
sport.
I see the tracks like Hungary and stuff is got a 7 or 8 year extension because I don't know why. They're barely any overtaking on that. I'm guessing like they bring in so much of
Exactly.
revenue.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of tracks on on this picture that where we don't see any overtaking or very less overtaking. So
Even your
yeah,
home
it is
track.
what it is. My home track, especially my home track. We were just on that track a
Not
few
even a
days back. We
safety car
saw
this year,
how
man.
narrow
Not
it
even a
was.
safety car this year.
We saw how
Not
narrow it
even a
was.
safety car this year.
We were literally on that track, so we know how it is.
Yeah, it's so narrow, dang it. And this year we didn't say safety car, man. Like, come on, that even made it worse.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyways. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. I mean, if F1 kind of grows a spine and does anything about that. But yeah, before we leave you guys, we want to kind of talk about this. So F1 is preparing a new kind of launch event. So every year you see, uh, each team kind of decides when the launch will be. Around this time, I mean, okay, not, I mean, I say around this time because generally the season ends by this time, but this year is going till mid December. But generally, like we start seeing leaks around this time of when new car launches will be. Right, there'll be generally some random Twitter insider will say McLaren will launch the new car on February 10th.
yeah,
So and basically each team has their own date, right? Generally, it's the month of February before testing starts in Bahrain. Some teams do physical launches in person. Some teams do virtual launches. I think like RB just phoned it in last year. Haas just did a tweet. Ferrari does the whole thing in Italy, but because of course they will, right? It's Ferrari, but this year, 2025 is going to be the 75th year of Formula One. It's going to be the 75th World Championship, right? And F1 has decided that there's going to be one mega event in London. What, a couple of weeks before testing, I think, right?
yeah.
Aniket?
I think somewhere in Feb, it's Feb 15th or something. I'm guessing. I'm not sure the exact date.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just trying to pull the tweet out, but yeah, um, yeah. I think it's going to be one mega event. I mean, obviously, it's said that it's only going to be for 2025 because, well, it's 75th year, right? I think
Yeah,
the team seem to be on board for this 1 year, but I think yeah, we'll see if
February
it's
18th.
successful.
It's at the O2 Arena.
Right, February 18th at the O2 Arena.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the renders look very glitzy, right? Uh, there you go. Yeah, the renders look very glitzy, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all 10 cars will be there. The person, look at this. We say bye bye to each team.
I was just going to ask that. Will we still have the individual launcher, or it's like we won't have that anymore?
Yeah, I think
Or
yeah, I think
because
details are pretty sparse right now. Even
because the
media
beauty
houses
of
didn't get
F1
much
is
info.
when we beauty of F1 is especially in Feb we wait for the different cars being launched. Then we start talking
Right, right.
about what do you see on these cars, and now we're just going to have it all at one go. So
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it going to be like a livery launch, or is it going to be like a car launch? Still
No,
have
I think so. What I was reading is that F1 is not going to insist on the actual car. Like it can be a livery launch. I mean, we
Mhm.
even every year we see a lot of teams just do livery launches, right? They keep the
Yes,
car kind of under wraps till testing, till Bahrain or Australia or wherever testing happens. So
yes,
I think it'll mostly be a livery launch. Maybe they'll just use the 2024 car and launch a livery or something. But
yeah, that will very well happen.
what I yeah, what it did here is that one thing is that the same guys who did the Vegas launch event last year, they are the same people are going to be organizing this F1, the FIA, F1. I don't know. Man, there's so many organizations. FOM, FIA, F1. I don't know. Basically, all these Formula One agencies. They wanted to be a very glitzy, glamorous event. Um, and I mean, obviously, it's a ticketed event, right? So I'm guessing there'll be some kind of revenue sharing as well. Um, and I think the biggest beneficiaries will be the smaller teams, like say the Williams or a Haas, who generally don't do such kind of launch events, right? Like RB
Yeah.
basically did a tweet, Haas did a tweet, right? They never did any. Haas has no money for all these kind of things, right? So
Mhm.
um, yeah, I think I mean, I think the only thing that I'm excited is that F1 is trying something, right? Instead of just kind of do the same thing every year. It's 75 years of F1. Try something, see this succeeds, and maybe you can iterate on this and maybe do it like like you said, maybe have more custom things for each team. Maybe do like one launch event and then I don't know. Each team gets their own successive days. They kind of I don't know. I mean, ideas can be had. There are a lot of creative people in F1, but yeah, I think it's just good to try something. I wish I could go there, but I can't. But yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Imagine 10 teams coming up, and yeah, maybe they should also I don't know play each team's music or something, or each driver music. Make it fun.
I mean,
Each
they'll be
driver
sure.
get 10
I think there will be
song.
some performances or something. I've heard there's a band, or I'm not sure exactly the artist who's going to play before the
Yeah, they
cars.
probably call a few artists, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
think all that is definitely going to happen. And I just want to see Lewis and Toto's reaction to standing opposite each other because that's going to be the first time, and they're doing it on this grand scale now. It's not going to be an individual event; it's
yeah,
going to be a combined event. So I just want to see a smug Toto looking at Lewis when the Ferrari car is being unveiled. That's going to be fun to see.
yeah, yeah. Man, it's going to be so weird to see Lewis in red, man. Like we've
I mean, we
seen
should
it.
start counting on the days, right? It's like three more races and that's it. We'll obviously do
Yeah,
a very for everyone watching. We are going to do a very special Lewis Hamilton video wherein we'll talk about all his years at Mercedes. From right from
yeah,
2013 up till now 24. We do that will probably be a long one, but it'll be a good one.
yeah. I
We'll do
mean,
a good after season.
not just 2013, man. I would say right from 2007 because it was still McLaren Mercedes, right? He has been with Mercedes, right? Not just F1, like through his junior years, his karting years, F3, F2. He's been Mercedes all throughout. And what's he now? 40 years, right? And if I did
He's
junior
on,
racing, I don't know, 7, 8 years. He has spent 3 decades with Mercedes, right? And so he's been in like silver or black clothing for like 3 decades, right? I mean,
mm, yeah.
uh, and even if you just count F1 for the last 17 years, he has won I mean, I know McLaren used to have some red accents, but it's still silver, right? Mercedes again silver and then black rounds. He's won some shade of silver for the last 17 seasons, right? Or 18.
Yep.
Yeah, this is his 18th season, right? This is year 18 for Lewis, right? So 18 seasons of silver, and then next year we're going to see even Tifosi red.
Yeah, I mean this launch event will definitely it's gonna be unique. We look forward to it. We have a lot more episodes, a lot more shows planned before the season ends. So we're gonna obviously go back to uh, previewing the races coming up. It's gonna be a triple header, so we're gonna see how to
Yeah,
get the best out of it. It does look like the drivers' championship is unfortunately decided, but we still have the constructors, I would say, to play for because Ferrari and McLaren are still vying for that. And
Yeah,
we'll see if there are any more news. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to everyone. Put out a short or put out like a longer video like this. And
yeah.
I think that's all the news dump we
Yeah, I
had,
think
right? I don't think we missed out much anything else apart from this.
yeah. No, I think basically like, they'll all to still play for in the constructors, right? Especially with Red Bull's great weekend in Brazil and
Hmm.
Ferrari and McLaren having questionable weekends. The gap has again narrowed a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be the funniest thing if Red Bull wins the constructors title. After
after
all
all
the
this.
McLaren drama,
Perez
after
had,
all the McLaren fights we've seen all season,
somehow
Sergio Perez suddenly is like, "Oh, I'm going to make it 3-1-2."
Perez has had some elixir from some place in the last 3 weeks. So I don't know.
But I just seeing today that the gap between Sergio Perez and Joe Guan Yu,
Yeah, I
who's
saw
on
that.
0 points. So
I
Joe is
saw
on
that.
0 points. Right, the gap between Perez and Joe is 151 points, and the gap between Perez and Max is 242 points. So he's closer to the bottom of the table. Like he's really close to a guy who has no points.
We had to end with the Perez time. Perez
Yes,
Joe. We had to throw
we
some
had.
shade at Sergio. Poor Sergio, man. Hope he has a good last season.
I mean, he's supposed to be extending beyond next year too, right? Like there's chatter that he may stay at Red Bull beyond
No,
2025.
I don't know who's gonna be a Red Bull second driver. They've already messed it up so
Like
much, so we'll see what
how
happens.
much money is Carlos Slim giving Red Bull, man? That they're just keeping Perez. Like Red
I
Bull
wonder what
fires
will happen to
drivers
the Mexico GP
mid-season.
now. In case they let go of Perez, will the Mexico GP even be on the grid? That's my question mark.
Yeah, like Red Bull is known for firing drivers left, right, and center, right? And they're keeping sticking with Perez so loyally. Yeah, it's my god. Anyways, yeah, that's all we have for you guys.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So again, no race this weekend. It's again a break, but yeah, next week the F1 silly season returns. Not silly season. What am I saying? The actual F1 season returns. 3 more weeks for 3-4 weeks for silly season. But yeah,
This is
F1
already
returns
done,
next
right?
week.
We have all the
What's that?
drivers decided. No more silly season now till next year.
We still don't know. Maybe Red Bull Horner blows up and Max goes to Mercedes. You never know. Uh, but yeah, I think yeah, F1 returns next week. Vegas, it's not a sprint weekend; it's a traditional weekend. And qualifying is at 11:30 Indian time and
But it's a weekend which
2
starts
p.m.
on a Thursday. So it's gonna be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event, not
Yes,
a Friday,
Thursday, Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday. But for us here in the East, it's going to be a traditional Friday to Sunday weekend. Yeah, so qualifying is 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, 23rd for India, 2 p.m. for Singapore, and same on Sunday for the race. So yeah, and then I think after that we're going to Qatar. It's a weird triple header. Like generally
Yeah.
they put triple headers in the
Fly
same
from
region.
US
We're
to
going
like
to
this is gonna be a crazy
yeah,
year ahead.
goes to Middle East. Like what's going on, man? Like but yeah, Qatar is a week after. That's a sprint weekend. So again, that's going to be another congested week. Just one practice session, and then we end with Abu Dhabi in the first weekend of December. There's no sprint there, so just a normal weekend. But yeah, 3 races left. The gap is ever so much closer at the top. Um, in the constructors, Max has basically won the drivers' title. But yeah, we will see you again. The Before you leave, Aniket, did you see F1 is still trying to milk this fight, man? Like even though it's done, like look at this nonsense here.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of stupid comments on this because it doesn't make sense. They're projecting it like
Yeah,
how does Max versus Lewis from 2021. So it's
yeah. I mean
crazy.
that is close. This is not
I'm not
close.
saying
Like
that
Max.
that's how they're projecting it. They're projecting that Lando is, so close to Max.
Yeah,
And Lewis was like had probably the 2 or 3 greatest races of anyone's career at that point. I mean, I don't think Lando
right.
can.
Yeah, and look at the
Anyways,
comments, man. This shade thrown on Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is catching strays in the F1 replies, man. I mean, viewers of this channel will know we were just throwing crap at Embiid 2 days ago. But
yeah,
anyways, that's it, guys. We'll see you next week before Vegas. I'm sure F1 will throw up some more silly news by then. Um,
yeah, and
yeah,
we look
maybe we'll
forward
hear
to
more about Vittich by then. Yeah.
you will, and do not forget. I mean, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe as is given in the banner. We are ever
Yep.
so close to getting to our target, so we
Yeah,
will
we
respond
are
to
very
vote.
very close, guys. We are at 605 subscribers right now. We just recently crossed 500, right? So we got 100 new subs in a very short time. So yeah, definitely tell your friends. We do a lot of sports. Uh, Aniket, Harjot, and me also do the NBA section, right? We both do F1. Sometimes Alabi also joins us, and then a lot of us join in on the football and cricket sections. So yeah, tell your friends, tell everybody, join us as we bring you all the sports news, right, Aniket?
Yep. And on that note, say our goodbyes now, and we'll see you on the next one very shortly.
Yep. See you all, folks, and drive safe.